Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yeah, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up, execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal, breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Plan is passing, age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know, sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen, hey. Yeah.
We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation, rather one if you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. Conversation, rather one if you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that are listen. Who the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Peace, everyone. Welcome back to the People's Podcast, the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters. Tonight, we are stepping into a story that challenges everything we think we know about justice. A man sentenced to 13 years. A man sentenced to 13 years, a clerical mistake that sends him home instead of a life of prison. A life transformed into the space of the system never intended to give. This is rehabilitation without incarceration. The Mike Anderson story. Before we begin tonight's episode, I'd like to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Shimmerwood CBD Infused Seltzers, the drink that helps you.
Oh, you're up, Kimberly. Badger.
I apologize. Before we begin tonight, or already did that one. Now let's get into it, because sometimes the system fails and a man rises in the freedom it never meant to offer. So I am Universe Badger. I am introducing Moon Tortoise.
Hello.
I am introducing Jay Wise.
How y'all doing?
Welcome.
This is Jay Wise of Consciously Aware Podcast. They air Wednesdays and Sunday at 8 p.m. We produce them.
Yeah, yes.
This is DDH, the bubble. And we have SGF Graham.
Yeah. Peace. How y'all doing?
What's up, Jeff?
No, it's me. Listen, so what happens is with me, my microphone shuts off. And it's the interface I just purchased. So I don't know if the interface is doing it or is it my cord and I need a new cord. And I've been buying cords left and right. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't my cord. But usually, SGF Graham, it's not you. I promise. It's me. So, you know of this story, SGF Graham. You're the first, you mentioned it to me. So, let me get into the first question. When Mike Anderson walked out of the courtroom and the system never called him back because he was told to go home, they will call him and tell him when to come in and turn himself in and what to do for the next 13 years. So he waited. He just sat home and waited. And days went by. Months went by, weeks went by, years went by, and they never called him. And of course, if you're wanted, you're not going to call the jail yourself and say, hey, I thought I was supposed to go to prison. Right?
Just follow up.
You should do a follow-up.
I think I'm supposed to be incarcerated, guy. No. I don't think anybody does that.
Like he couldn't even been in the system as even having a pending because he successfully lived a life. So he didn't even have a record. Like they completely had a wrong Mike, whatever his name was. That maybe it was the middle name or something. I don't know. That was wild.
His first name is, I think,
Cornelious.
Cornelius. Yeah, I was gonna botch it. I think it's Cornelius, but he goes by Michael, and I think maybe that messed it up. Maybe they were looking for a Cornelius, and he actually went by Michael, or they were looking for Michael and he was going by Cornelius. Either or, but somehow there was a glitch in the system, a clinical error. So
No.
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was wondering. Now, was he charged with it? Is he convicted? Like, what's the court process that he's
So
in?
I was gonna do a little backstory real quick on saying what happened. So in 2000, he robbed a Burger King, and he robbed it with a BB gun, and he stole $2,000. He got caught. He went to they sentenced him to they went to court and they sentenced him. And instead of taking him right away to prison, they told him to go home. And they would call him and tell him what to do next.
So he was actually convicted.
Yes.
Okay. So at this point, he was supposed to be sentenced. So was he sentenced or was he just convicted and they told him to come back for sentencing?
Nope, he was sentenced. He was sentenced 13 years in prison. And they told him to go home instead of right to the prison from the courts.
Okay.
So exactly after his conviction, he was told to await instructions on when to report to prison. But those instructions never came. It was a clerical error from the state of Missouri forgot about him instead of sentencing. It's just someone didn't cross an I or dot a T.
Okay. That makes sense. So I guess with the weird thing is, did they try and recharge him, or they trying to make him do the 13 years now?
They tried to make him do the 13 years when his 13 years were up. He went to church. He was a model citizen. He renewed his license. He did everything that he should have done the right way around. And he never got caught. He never had a criminal history. It never once showed he was in the system whatsoever.
Okay. So let me ask you this: did he get into any trouble in those
Not at
13?
all. Not at all. Not even
Okay.
a parking ticket. He had some little simple violations, some like traffic tickets, but nothing serious.
Okay.
Quite the opposite, actually.
You said quite
And
that.
yeah, he was. I don't know what he was talking about.
He lived actually a very, very good
Model
life. He was very good in his community. He was very upstanding, actually, which is kind of what we're going to get into about what had the implications of this sentence that he never served but still served had on him.
I was
And
about
when
to
they
say,
went, go ahead.
I was about to say, can you imagine mentally what type of prison he was in every time he saw a cop, talk to a cop, everything knowing that this might be the day that they remember, and especially when he's getting close to like 7, 8, 9 years, you realize you just spent this much time. You could have been about finished with your time or whatever. And if they say something now, man, I can only imagine the mental
Yeah,
stress every time somebody bother you. And because you can't tell me them whole 13 years his life was just fantastic. Somebody bothered him to where he wanted to put hands on them, but he had to think about, I don't need to add charges on this because I haven't even went to prison for it yet.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he became a pillar of the community. He went to
Yeah,
church. He became the total opposite than what he was starting off in life.
that was the only way to be after that. It felt like they setting you up to do something else to add on to it so they can keep you in there longer. That's what I'm like, why they ain't came and got me yet? I think they want me to mess up again.
But he didn't exactly stay under the radar. Was one
Not at
thing
all.
either.
He was definitely in the community, definitely a pillar. Definitely, he did volunteer work. He did community service. He registered to
He
vote.
had 4 kids.
Yeah,
He coached children's sport teams, volunteered at his local church. Over the years, he transformed into a law-abiding citizen, proving he had, in essence, rehabilitated himself. But
and the thing is, when you go from court and they say you're sentenced to 13 years, don't you think they would arrest you right then and there and take you to prison, not say go home and we'll let you know what to do next?
Well,
If that
every court is different, and a lot of times, depending on where you at, I've definitely seen that happen, where some people will have literally months before they have to turn themselves in.
Wow, I've
I've
never
seen
been in
this more
trouble.
often.
What were you saying, SGF Graham?
I got 9 tattoos and ain't none of them in the system. I believe that man was an outstanding, talking, intelligent, articulate man. His whole time dealing with the situation that they easily forgot about him. Whatever. I have been completely guilty of something sitting in the back of the cop car, and by the time we get to the precinct, he say, "Well, man, I don't even think you did it, man. I think they just got a terrible mix up," and I'm just laughing. Well, all because, all because of how I'm talking to him or whatever. Like,
I can feel that. I can feel that. I've been in situations that I know I definitely should have been in trouble for, and the opposite person have went to jail and I stayed home, and I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't break the law a lot, but I did do some things where I was uncontrolled and I didn't control my emotions at all times, and I made questionable decisions. But at the end of the day, I do believe it's how you carry yourself and how you handle yourself and how you My grandson told me this once when he was about last year. I think it was last year or the year before. He told me, he said, it's not about what you know, it's about how you convince somebody else what you know.
Mm, makes sense.
He's exactly right.
So do you think did the life that he lived count more than the sentence that he was supposed to serve, Jay Wise?
Definitely. But I think with his case, and it's rare, I'm not going to say it's rare, but just like you all gave examples of times where you could have went to jail for something and you didn't, you know, that's every other story, of somebody that's in prison and somebody that's not. So, of
Mhm.
course, redemption is always great, especially when that person becomes the opposite of what their crime was. He went and robbed and then turned around and became a giver, So, giving life and giving to his community, giving to God. So, all of that stuff is a plus. Does that mean that the system failed him? But I think what it is, if you're really trying to look at it, you're looking at it from a perspective of he succeeded the system. So does that mean the system don't work, or does it mean it's bad? I think is you can't really measure the system off of what happened to him.
And then he robbed a place with a gun. Now, granted it was a BB gun, but at the time, it was still a gun. It still was armed robbery. Like he still was dangerous because what if it wasn't a BB gun? What if it really was a real weapon besides a BB gun? And what if he really harmed somebody? I'm not saying, it's the same as murder and whatnot, but like at the end of the day, does it make a difference when 13 years later, they go to pick him up and they put him in prison because they realized the day of release that he wasn't there. And they were like, oh, snap. We need to go grab this guy and make him serve. When they put him in prison, even the warden said, this guy does not belong here. He should not be here. I don't know why he's here. And enough people wrote in, and enough people did stuff so that they picked it up. The courts picked it up, or the what was it? The circuit courts picked it up. Moon Tortoise.
Yeah, it was. They just kind of figured it out. It caught up with them. They realized their clerical error and arrested him to enforce the sentence. Yeah, it was just a state.
No, afterwards. Then when he got arrested, they tried to make him serve that 13 all over again. And the warden's like, I don't know why he's here. And then I think it got overturned because enough people wrote in and did a petition of stuff. And I think that like the circuit court picked it up, or whatever the higher court it is, picked it up and overturned it and sent him home and said, no, he doesn't need to be in prison because he's not the same person he was over 13 years ago. Now, I know a lot of people and a lot of stories of people going to prison and that didn't even commit the crime, but they needed somebody to put that on. And they stayed there for 20 to 30 to 40 years of a crime they didn't even commit. I hear that all the time. So
Well,
I'm
in his
wondering,
case, oh, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't want to cut you off. I was going to say, in his case, um, he got sent to prison, and then everybody on the outside, there's a lot of pushback from citizens in his town to free him. And then the decision would change. He was released from prison in May 2014 after almost a year of sitting there. And the judge ruled that forcing him to serve a sentence after more than a decade of good behavior would serve no meaningful purpose and would undermine the principles of rehabilitation.
Undermine the principles of it. So that this leads into my next.
You're out. Your audio's out.
I have to wait for the mic to shut off for me to return it back. So my question is rehabilitation something that happens inside the cell, or is it something that happens inside of a person? I'm going to ask that. I'm going to start with you, Moon Tortoise.
It's a hard answer for me. I've been incarcerated a couple of times in jail for drunk drivings, and I don't know. It's not that I wanted to go back to jail. Actually, sometimes I kind of miss the comfort of jail, if that can make any sense. The world's big and loud and ugly, and I hate it. But it was for me. It was for me that I wanted to get better. And I don't know if jail necessarily did that. It was a series of speed bumps in life, and I suppose jail is just one of them.
So I'm gonna have you read the comment real quick, and then because we got one more afterwards.
Oh, from Lideline, makes me think of how Jesus saves, but George Nelson withdrawals. That's an insight. If you know what she's talking about, you're a very cool person.
Okay. So, Jay Wise, is rehabilitation something that happens inside a cell, or is it inside of a person, do you believe?
It's definitely inside the person.
Do you want to give an example or why you think that?
Definitely. Well,
Okay.
I feel like everybody, once you, and this is even at birth from, being a child or being a kid, we all have to experience consequences to a certain degree. Telling lies, cursing, even things like not keeping enough gas in your car and knowing that the penalty of that is running out of gas, right? So I always say everything is in your mind, what you can tolerate, what you can handle. Do I think people purposely commit crimes? No. Do I think some people walk into things? Of course. And some people intentionally do things. So I think rehabilitation is all bent on what are you willing not to do anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So I think all of it starts with a thought. And the consequence of the sale may be a reality boost to one person, but emboldens the next. So that's why I always say it's the mindset. Because three people can experience the same thing and have three different outcomes.
Yeah. What do you think, SGF Graham? Do you think rehabilitation is inside the person, or do you think it's inside of a cell? Or do you agree with what everybody else said?
If everybody would have said the same thing, I would have said that. But definitely inside the person. Now, where it happens, where it takes place, is up to that person. But definitely inside the person.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of say it's both for me personally because I've never been in a cell, and I think being in a cell would scare the crap out of me. That I inside probably would also want to change my life. So sometimes it takes that step to saying that, even though the cops were behind me, I still shoved that stuff up inside of me when it wasn't mine because I wasn't thinking of the outcome. But once the outcome comes, I think that I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna change my life because I don't like this. So I'm gonna say it's both for me. I honestly see it both ways. I think some people need that scare tactic to really change within them. That's just my opinion. Moon, yes.
I was going to answer that comment. I also wanted to add to mine is that when I was in jail, I seem to notice that a lot of people, including people I know on the outside as friends, like it. And not only that, but kind of thrive in jail. And I've seen people go to jail and just kind of look at it as another business opportunity, to be honest with you. So it really is about mindset, in my opinion.
Your signal is going out.
I would say
your signal went out.
That sucks. I know people who love jail. They thrive in it. Listen, I think he would actually be harmed. I think if he actually harmed somebody, they would have to look at him, take him to jail a lot sooner. It probably would be the fact that he'd used a non-lethal weapon and didn't hurt anybody was why they let him go home. And I think that was certainly a contributing factor.
I agree too. Honestly, though, to be for real, that I know a lot of people that thrive in prison too, and they love prison. They keep going back because they have like a whole family and a whole gang in there. It's like there's a better life. But then I know there's people that never been in trouble, like myself. You put handcuffs on me, and it's not sexual, and it's not for fun. I'm going to freak out. I promise you. I promise you. I had to sit in a cop car one time because I got into an accident and my son got paralyzed, and I thought I was going to prison. And they were like, "No, ma'am, you're not." We just want you off the road, and we want you away from the accident, and you're safer in this car than you are there. And I was like, okay. And they had to give me a ride home. So they were like, we got to drop you off. Your car is being totaled. So I was freaking out though, because I just had to sit in a cop car.
Let,
And they
let me
didn't
ask
have.
you this. I want to ask a question based on what you're saying. So when you said that you know people who go to jail, hello?
Yes.
Oh, we
Okay.
got you.
No, my mic keep cutting on and off. I don't know why, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was on. But
Okay.
when you say you know people who thrive in jail, let me ask you this question. Are these people actually thriving in jail, or they like to go somewhere where the chaos is controlled? And what I mean by controlled chaos, you got people who are from different backgrounds there because of something that they did that was against the rules or against the laws or whatever. And you saying they keep going back because of what it is. So I'm asking, do you think they're going back because of the camaraderie, or you think they're going back for the structure that
Both.
prison or jail present?
I'm going to say both. I know a lot of people that have been there long enough and that they become institutionalized. They don't know how to live out here in the free world. I think I shut your mic off because there's feedback.
In minds?
Yeah. Not
Oh,
now, just when it's quiet.
oh, okay.
I like that question.
I do like that question, and I think both. I think it's both things, and I'll let you answer it, but I do believe it's both. I think that they also, a lot of people love the structure because they don't know how to live out here in the free world where, you know, they have more limitations out there than they do inside of a locked place. And then I also believe that they like chaos. They like they're more popular there. They just feel like they belong. You know, that's their kind of lifestyle because out here no one recognizes them. So I'm gonna say a little bit of both. What do you think, Moon Tortoise?
I've seen all kinds. I don't necessarily, because no one walks into jail wanting to go into jail. Like, I'm going to go to jail. Like the Trailer Park Boys, he wants to go back to finish a hockey game. Like, it's hilarious, but I mean, I think they just thrive in jail because a lot of people kind of thrive, or at least think they thrive on bad decisions and ending up screwing up like that. You know, you kind of get hooked into these pathological and systematic habits. Like, I thought I was really happy and thriving for years drinking, but I mean, inside I was rotting. So it's just kind of a fallacy where you think you're thriving. But at the end of the day, if you got 3 square meals and you can work out and you got a toilet and you're not technically going to freeze to death, you could construe that as thriving as a human being. It's all about perception. So,
Yeah. SGF Graham, when someone already rebuilt their life, what does accountability look like?
When they've already did what?
Rebuilt their life.
I guess easy. I don't I
What is
don't know how that
accountability?
accountability is accepting what you have done or what you could have done better. Um, I'm in the process of rebuilding my life. I can only speak for me, and it is actually so easy that I gotta be careful of putting it on everybody else because before the rebuild, it wasn't easy, and I know everybody else hasn't went through whatever I went through to where I can take accountability like that. It becomes hard because I expect everybody else to now that I'm there, but I also have to remember that it was a time that I wasn't necessarily there. So
Yeah. So my question is, do we as society want growth, or do we expect punishment even when someone has already changed? And I'm going to say both. I'm going to say both. I know a lot of people really want punishment. They want someone to suffer for something that they done. And then some people really just want growth. So I'm going to say a little bit of both. Um like the Four Agreements said, the book The Four Agreements, sometimes we hold ourselves into contempt. Like SGF Graham said, imagine what his head was like, constantly looking over his shoulder and constantly thinking that if he messes up one time, they're going to figure out that he did this and that he's going to go away and they're going to add more sentence to him. Just imagine that mental warfare that he had going on within himself at all times. I couldn't imagine. I've dated people that used to deal drugs and stuff, and they were constantly paranoid looking out their windows. I've hung around people that that were bad people, and they were constantly looking out their shoulders, and they were constantly thinking someone's going to jump them or take from them. So they were always living on the edge. And then I just been around people that were just anxious like that all the time for no reason. So I mean, I couldn't imagine if at any second I might do something and they might be like, now you're going back away. And that whole life that I just built, I worked so hard for, is going to get ripped out from me. I don't know.
Well, I think it's two ways to look at that. After, I would say, maybe 90 days to 6 months, do you really think about it that much? Especially if you like living your life. Part two to
Yeah.
that is, once I've established a lifestyle, you said he had 4 kids. After the first kid, I'm not thinking about it no more. Now I'm thinking about putting this kid through college or buying a house or, life. And so I think there's a two-part to that, especially if he went on the straight and narrow. Now, if he was still being a criminal or, doing criminal activity, yeah, he probably would think about that all the time. But if he changed his life instantly, within, like I said, a couple of months, a year. You know what I'm saying? If he went back to school, or if he got a good paying job, or if he joined the church. I don't think the pressure of doing something wrong or having something wrong happen was something that would linger on him if he walked the straight and narrow. Now, something else you had asked, I want to tap into a little bit. You said, dang, I almost forgot. You said something about if he had never changed this. No, no, you said something about the crime, right? Now you look at the crime. He robbed Burger King. Did he shoot anybody? No. Did anybody get harmed? So when you speak of fairness, is there somebody who got harmed in the crime? You could say Burger King because they lost 2 grand, but is 2 grand a lot of money? What would you equate 2 grand to? What, 90 days? You know what I'm saying? Like 90 days in jail. So I think a lot of times when you think about punishment, you think about the crime, and for what he did, does he owe society $2,000 worth of uh, what would they call it? Restitution. Maybe, but that would probably be considered time served or money gave. You said he's a pillar of the community, goes to church, probably volunteers time doing other things. So I'm sure he's paid that back. So in his case, I think everything that he's done, he's paid back as far as the crime he committed in that instant. You know what I mean? As far as robbing a Burger King for $2,000, used the BB gun. So, like I said, nobody was harmed. physically. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he scared a couple of people. I don't know. What the
That's
circumstance.
important.
Say
That
that
part
again.
is important. You go to Burger King trying to do your job, and someone might pull a gun on you and shit. You might be thinking about that for the rest of your life. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I understand that
who's to
trauma,
think
but
about
saying,
that?
what would you equate that trauma to, as far as penalizing? You think he
I would
should
have
go
Burger King pay him.
for that trauma?
You said what, Moon Tortoise?
I would have Burger King pay the employees for having them put their lives on the line for some Whoppers. I think that kind of falls back on corporations.
Yeah, but just sticking to what we were saying as far as his payback to who was harmed. Now you have to take that into consideration. Trauma. How do you measure that? Does that get measured in money? Does that get measured in time? So that's why I asked the question is, when you think about the punishment, you got to think about the crime. So let's just say there were maybe what, three employees, maybe three patrons. So you got six people there. $2,000 came up missing. So what would you equate that crime to? They say 13 years. I think that's a bit excessive. So
Agreed.
um, but depending on the laws and where it is and what state and city it is, every place has its own statutes or whatever. So that's a good thing to think about when you trying to measure what's penalty is what. It's not who's involved and how do you measure that time. Does it equate to money? Is it something where you have to lock somebody up? You know what I mean? Can it be something that can be paid in fine or work release? Volunteering time. That's you know. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Read that question. We have one more.
Comment?
Yes, please.
Joe Schul. Yeah, I know him. I spent a night in jail. It transformed me into a belligerent dickhead. Joey, I assure you there was more to the story than that. And then Liz DeLee, then the case of the father incarceration was his way of escaping his responsibilities of being a parent. 3 hots in a cot.
I don't know, because he became a parent after he was in after he did the crime. He didn't become a parent before the crime. So I honestly, though, I mean, not to contradict no one, but Jay Wise, I beat myself up over stuff way longer than a month and a year. I have beat myself up over trauma stuff as a child, still as an adult, that I had to do shadow work for to heal. So that mental prison that you put yourself in may be longer, depends on the person, especially if it was a mistake. I know times where I've gotten to the car drunk and I've drove places when I was younger, and good thing nothing ever happened. And then years later, my sister gets unalived by a drunk driver. So like, just I beat myself up over things a lot that I've done, even though nothing bad happened. I could just imagine what could have. So, Moon Tortoise, what does Mike's story say about the second chances that come from unexpected places?
It's a damn good story, and you don't hear it all the time. Because I don't think people get the message that clearly the first time, right? I was looking into what Mike did before he robbed the Burger King, and I can't find a lot of information, but I'm assuming it's kind of like pre-Burger King related robbing activities. But that doesn't say that he ever got arrested for it. So I've seen plenty of people who don't get that memo and they just keep going in and out for whatever reason. And then I have a friend who's in prison for life who I talk to every week. And I don't know, he trains leader dogs for the blind. and he's of course a gifted artist because he's in prison, and he's going to school right now and learning 2 other languages. So it's just about getting the memo. It's there's second chances. I think we need to approach punishment in a more human aspect, and that's going to be a huge ass answer to do that. But from what I've heard and what I see, there's less reform and more let's get as much money flowing through this as we possibly can. And I think that's going to bridge the difference between people learning lessons, becoming productive.
SGF Graham, do you think that people rise higher when they are trusted or when they are controlled?
When they're trusted, control, I'm either trying to get away or I'm only gaining your trust so I can get away. So still the outcome is get away. If they trust you, it gives you almost a sense of purpose in that little area. And most people don't want to break the trust.
Okay. Jay Wise, how many lives would look differently if opportunities replace confinement?
I think that's a 50-50 answer. And the reason I say 50-50 is because you don't have repeat offenders because they didn't get a second chance, right? And you do get people who go into prison one time and they never go back. So I think it's 50-50. I think it's more about opportunity. I think it's more about will. And I also think it's more about environment. You know, if you get somebody who goes to prison based on their environment because of some, where they live, right? And you lock that person up, they learn a lesson, they become a good person, but they have to go back to that environment. Not to say they go back and commit that same crime, but they still go back to that environment where that environment creates crime or that environment is um, heavily saturated with crime, right? And that person just happened to get caught up in something because they have a record. They end up going back to prison. Was it something they did? Maybe they was in the car with somebody. Who knows? But when you look at it from that perspective, I think it always depends on the situation and the person because not everybody learns the lesson the first time. It's almost like with any child. You can have 3 people who actually live in the same house, who have the same parents, who had the same penalties, but when they got out on their own, they reacted to everything differently. You know, so I think that's a 50. It still depends on the person because not everybody is going to have the same opportunity. Because some people, like I said, might just get caught up and do something bad that may, be against the rules or against the law. Like you say, drinking and driving. You say you never got caught, but just imagine a person that did. So the penalties they go through, will be different than the penalties that you didn't go through. But like you say, you beat yourself up about it. And that person that gets caught, maybe they don't care. And they do it again and they do it again and they do it again. But like for you, you stopped. So it's all in the person still. I don't think the penalties so much matters. That's why I say it's always a good idea until you have to put that idea once it goes from your head to have to go out into reality, it always changes.
I can agree. I can see that. Moon Tortoise, have you ever had a moment where life handed you a space to grow and you used it to become better?
Right. Or life handed me a space to grow and I used it?
To become better.
Oh yeah, I think life hands you those every minute or so if you really want to. You just got to look for it. And I was looking in the wrong places for too long. So within the last few years, I've noticed a lot of growth spurts. So I don't know if you're doing better. I guess you got a more positive mindset, and you're genuinely looking for the universe to gift you with things. Ask it. Go forth. Move with purpose.
SGF Graham, I'm going to ask you this question, and I don't know if you're going to really want to answer it because it sounds weird to me. When you hear Mike Anderson's journey, what emotion hits you first? Is it anger, hope, frustration, or inspirational?
Lucky motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's about it. Don't none of that inspire me. Inspire me to do what? Get in trouble and
That's
hope I don't get caught too.
that's what I was saying. It sounded weird to me when I read it. I was like, why would his story give me a feeling of an emotion?
Give me a feeling of boy, that'll be a good movie.
Period. That's what I thought too, because that's when you showed me this. This is how I come across the story. You showed it to me, and when you showed it to me, I thought, "Is there a movie out about that?" And you were like, "I don't think so yet." Like that would be a movie worth watching.
Yeah.
And SGF Graham is playing Mike Anderson.
Yeah. I can stay free for 13 years. I could do that now.
Yeah.
So, and then this other question, I don't know if that's is going to make a difference either. Jay Wise, they said, what does this story teach us about transformation in our own lives?
I guess it teaches. I guess it's about opportunity because he had an opportunity to actually change his life, and he took it. And I guess the ironic thing is he still had to end up facing those demons, whatever,
Mm.
year or a couple of months he had to do. But I'm sure getting that completely exonerated and him being able to walk free now as a man, being a father and things like that. So I think he now could appreciate, you know, getting that off his back a lot more. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was done.
Oh, I was agreeing. I was agreeing. That's all. I said, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, Holding yourself accountable for something, and he might have been beating himself up. He might not have been. I don't know. I don't know the man to say what he has and hasn't done. I just know that, like JY said, getting that off of his shoulders of saying, you know what, I made a mistake a long time ago and I got to live the life that I didn't have to regret not being able to. And now I don't have to worry about nothing. Now I can actually really walk as a pillar and tell my own children to lead by example that, there is consequences for actions. I could have been gone and not your father and not had that opportunity to be who I am today by a choice that I made. So think about your decisions before you do them. People do things a lot without thinking of the consequences for real, because they're living in that moment of fulfillment of that second and they're not thinking about anybody else but self. They're just thinking about what they can get from that situation at that second, that they're doing something, some kind of pleasure of something. I've done so many things that I now am like, man, I don't know who that person was that did that, but this person who I am today will never ever do that again. Because I'm starting to love myself and hold myself higher, and I'm starting to respect myself more, and I'm starting to look at myself in a different light and learn healthy boundaries and giving myself that self-love that I never had before. So like now I make proper decisions. Now I'm still repeating cycles and I'm still banging my head against the wall sometimes on certain things until I remove myself from the situation that I'm in and I start doing better with life and completely change things and never allow that again. People will.
Audio.
I know you couldn't hear me, and I couldn't do
Oh,
anything to turn itself off. I can't. Once it does that, I can't do anything to read it, make it come back on until it shuts itself off and shows me that it's off. I can shut it back on. So I
I'll
gotta.
just keep. I
As
gotta
soon as
keep
you do
asking
this,
you.
as soon as you do this, I'll sit quietly, not too quietly, because even though my mic is going out on StreamYard, my mic still on TikTok is still going. So
Okay.
with
Yeah, that's right.
so I will just be like, yeah, I know you can't hear me on this show, but I will let you, and I'm still gonna
I
talk.
just care about the content. Yes, I care about what you say.
No, I was saying that, instead of repeating cycles, people repeat cycles until they learn that lesson. And it may be a different face, a different name, a different time, a different place, but it's still a lesson you must learn. And Mike Anderson learned his lesson. He learned his lesson. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And he probably told his kids to never do that and teach them totally different than what he was ever not taught, because that's why we do things. I think we tend to do things because of generational habits and curses and routines, and we have to retrain ourselves to be somebody different than what we were told to be like. Let's do positive messages. Moon Tortoise, what's your positive message?
My positive message. We don't try to push what you should and shouldn't do on the show, but I do like to make suggestions. And Mr. Anderson there had a real strong catalyst in his life to strap it down, to do better, to do the right thing, and to leave a life of like armed robbery style crime, which is way up there. But you don't have to. And the moral you can take away from this is you don't need to hit rock bottom. You don't need some huge catalyst. Just if you're hearing this, look inside yourself, ask maybe if I'm doing the wrong thing like that. You have the power to change it. You have the power to just become an upstanding citizen overnight. You don't have to be a fuck up or anything. You don't have to have that to be your title. And like I said, move forward with purpose and have fun. And make sure everyone around you is having fun too.
SGF Graham, what's your positive message?
Yeah, I don't even know. Come back to me last. Come back to me after J Wise.
Okay. Jay Wise, what's your positive message?
Well, I guess the positive message would be redemption. You know, I think we all fall down in a way where life and doesn't come with a manual. And I know we technically have one in the Bible, but it's not clear cut for nobody. You know, that's why we have ministers and all those people who try to decipher the Bible for us. So, with no real instructions on life, I think everybody learn different things at different times. I guess the most I can honestly say is just living your faith, living your truth, try to understand other people. And I think when people learn to understand more, you get to command more. And the more you understand yourself, the more you get the command of yourself, you know. So I think getting back to who we are as people more so than what we can get as far as material things, I think that opens up a whole new realm of what uh this life could be.
Okay. SGF Graham, positive message.
I still don't have one, but I guess we can sit on treat your second chance like it's your last chance.
Okay.
It was awesome.
I do like that one.
See,
So my positive message would be, I had a scenario earlier, and I'm not going to say names because I'm not that type of person. Someone asked me to remind people and to let people know what they do what their passion is, what that drives them, and let them know that they're doing this and how much they're going to charge and what they got going on and stuff like that. And I said to them respectfully, I can't put more on my plate. I can't mentally, physically, and emotionally put more on my plate to help somebody else with their dreams and wants and goals and everything like this. That's your purpose. I can't do that for you. I can't go around letting people know about you. And I said respectfully, not at this present moment. They laughed at it. And I said, thank you for finding my honesty funny and my transparency funny. I said, I just mentally can't at this present moment. I have a lot on my plate. And if someone comes to me and asks me about it, I will say, hey, I know somebody that does this, because I'm a great salesperson. I sell people all the time. So I will sell somebody. But at the end of the day, stop looking at somebody else to do the work that you need to do and do the work for you. Because would it be different if someone handed you and said, here's a life that I built for you? Or is it better that it builds your own life for yourself? I think you'd get more gratitude out of it and more, I don't know, appreciation for it if it's something you've done. So with that being said, live your life like you might not have tomorrow to do it in the moment. You've been listening to the People's Podcast. Oh, and I ended it with, may your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations with peace and love. I don't get mad. I'm not going to meet somebody in their ignorance. I'm going to stand above and still show them love. So you've been listening to the People's Podcast with the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters, a place where real stories meet real conversations. Tonight, we explored a man who proved that rehabilitation lives inside choices, not concrete walls. Mike Anderson showed that the world that growth can happen in freedom, honest, and responsibilities. Stories like this remind us why we walk, talk, and ask questions, why we listen. Justice is more than a sentence. Justice is what a person becomes. Tonight's episode was powered by Shimmerwood CBD-infused seltzers, helping you stay calm, centered, and present. Use our promo code ThePeople and get 30% off your next order. Thank you for tuning in. Stay aware, stay open-minded, and stay connected. We will see you next time on the People's Podcast. Peace and love. And next Tuesday we have another amazing story. Stay tuned.
Peace.
And thank you for coming on, Jay Wise.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Peace and love.
I definitely can come back.
Okay. I'm glad you had fun.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people. Rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you were smothered. Where them tries could have killed you. But with faith you recover. Yeah. Peel off the makeup. We finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Plan is passing age rotations. Down me we owe, so down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's an art tool. Reflect on all the juice like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you fearing, and watch it all rise. The righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring, because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing, what you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen, hey. Yeah, yeah.
We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth, cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental, how clean is a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Steering this ship through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt or disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation, rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah or Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on, you tell the truth.